Thanks for tuning in to another episode of VTLE. Well, I've seen some complaints that the last several videos have been too, I'm not sure if there's another word for trying so much to be formal, because apparently snobbish would be a bit too harsh and kinda hurt my feeling, to be honest. So for those of you who are more interested in me than what I had to say, I promise to be more casual this time. Also because I think it would be a nice way to connect with my audience and finally start off the year on a positive note. Today I'm gonna show you the top 5 people who have more or less shaped the person I am today. Number 5, Michael Jackson. Way before I found my interest drawn to some and swing. I mean, jazz and swing. I was a huge fan of Michael Jackson. You know, it's the way he casually goes hee hee while seductively grabbing his junk on stage. But just like most people at the time, I didn't really become a fan till his sudden decease back in 2009. But I think it's safe to say that the King of Pop's influences on me have been the most transformative. You know, I remember going from an overweight, socially awkward kid to a fairly fit and confident teenager, only so that I could see myself as a proper Michael Jackson impersonator. Yep, in case you're curious, this is how he danced, except that he didn't look like an idiot while doing it. Moving on to number 4, we have Georgie and JT. What I found really admirable about these two is how far they're willing to go in order to truly be themselves. If you think about it, one person abandoned all of his old personas to pursue his passion for music, while the other just gave up his past glory to offer a more mature and much less marketable direction. Now, I'm no psychologist, but I just have a strong feeling that these two are way past the pandering to the audience stage, that they have fully realized what posing for attention can do to their mental and spiritual health. You know, in the world full of narcissistic, celeb wannabes who are willing to bend backwards for the attention of 12 years olds, I'm looking at you, TikTok. Both Georgie and JT seem like the kind of guys who are willing to be creative, even without an audience. That's rare. And if that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. At number 3, we have James Roth, the angry video game nerd. Since the very beginning of YouTube back in 2006, this man has been consistently producing quality content. His most popular show is called The Angry Video Game Nerd, in which he plays a parody character called The Nerd to review video games, usually the terrible ones. So the reviews are always packed with humor and ingenuity and are surprisingly calming for a series that focuses mainly on the negative aspects of the games. As a content creator, sort of, I draw a lot of motivation from James' perseverance. I mean, the guy's been doing the exact same thing for 1.5 decades, since he was my age till now a man approaching 40. I also look up to the way he manages to compartmentalize his character and real-life personality. You know, while the angry video game nerd is notorious for always being over the top and angry, James Roth comes across as extremely down-to-earth and just overall a pretty fun guy to hang out with. He doesn't seem to take himself too seriously despite being in the pantheon of the OG YouTubers. This man, in my opinion, is the embodiment of dedication and humility. Number 2, Professor Jordan Peterson. Although I was totally unaware of Dr. Peterson until 3 years ago, I adore him so much that I don't even mind being labeled a right-winger for admitting it. I mean, the man himself is like the counterbalance to an entire world where justice is dictated by the ones who scream the loudest. You know, if Michael Jackson helped me gain confidence as a teen, it's Dr. Jordan Peterson that inspired me to tone it down as an adult. If you notice how I kind of became more cautious and reserved in my videos in the last 2 years, it's not because I was silenced or because I was running out of testosterone, but rather that I felt inadequate compared to the real intellectual like him. If even the great Jordan Peterson doesn't think everyone should be listening to him, then what should a guy like me try to be assertive for? Number 1, Blackjack, or Brakujaku, whatever, I don't speak hentai. Now for those of you who are unfamiliar with this manga monument, well, he's a doctor. But instead of working in a hospital and bombarding YouTube with advertisements, he wanders around the world trying to save people, animals, spirits, machines, just about everything that he runs into. Blackjack's attitude towards life can be encapsulated by this one simple yet brilliant panel. It is exactly the kind of half-nihilistic, half-existential attitude that I've always aspired to have since I was 10. Although, to be honest with you, he wouldn't survive the world today with all that cancel culture going on. Not COVID-19. I mean, my man is cool and badass and everything, but he basically lives with a 6-year-old who claims to be his wife and constantly fantasizing about intimacy with him. That's, Seriously, there are two things I didn't realize until I started filming this video. One is that all the people I take inspiration from have a J in their names. And two, none of them claims to be inspirational. Well, that's it for now. Till next time.